He's obviously talking on the phone when the kids are up. Phone ma
Okay. Very I go around Thank you very much for inviting me into your lovely community. Real honor to meet all of you. I know some of you have been coming to our daily Bhagavatam sessions on Zoom. And I have been fortunate enough to have been invited occasionally to come and attend, participate, and share also on this Zoom channel. So I connected with some of these wonderful devotees here. And this inspired me, and mainly in particular, Mother Kritika Mataji, she inspired me that one day I must come to Eldoret. So here I am. I'm right here face to face with Kritika Mataji. That's wonderful. You are here, but she's not here. No, she's here, she's right here. So today's title, well, it's just today and tomorrow we're going to cover this topic. The unstoppable, inevitable time factor. What is this time factor? These are lessons from the teachings of Bhismadev. Repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're talking today about this person, great Bhismadev. So here in this picture, we see an astounding sight. We see an elderly fighter. He's lying down, but his body does not touch the ground. He has hundreds of arrows going all the way through his body. And somehow he's still alive. He's surrounded by his grandnephews and other relatives. But also in this picture is the presence of Lord Shri Krishna. And the Lord has tears in his eyes. And the others are also so sad that this mighty general is passing away. But who is this intriguing personality? Who is Bhismadev? So, how do stories normally start? You guys listen to stories? Kids? How do stories start? What are 3 words, 3, 4 words?
Once upon a
Correct.
time.
Once upon a time, there was a king named Shantanu. And he fell in love with a lady by the river. She was standing by the river Ganga. That's her. It turns out that she was the river Ganga herself, personally, personified. So Shantanu asked if she would like to marry him. And surprisingly, like, oh, okay, she agreed. Shantanu was a great king, he was emperor of the world. And you would think, someone like Ganga, but this is part of the history of the world. She agreed, but she made Shantanu agree to certain conditions. He said, yes, whatever it is, it's fine. She said that he should not interfere with whatever she does, whether he likes it or not. And he should address her respectfully. The moment these 2 conditions are broken, if he interferes, or if he talks to her disrespectfully, she'll leave him forever. This is a lesson for the Prabhus. Don't talk disrespectfully to the ladies. Guys, you never know. But this was, at least, see, she made the condition in the beginning. Because that people are in the habit of talking disrespect. If you want to get married, have some respect. Also, I may do some crazy things, but you can't interfere. He agreed, and they're married. Start living happily. She was the queen. So, first son is born here. And this lady, Ganga Devi, would go into the river and drown the baby, her own child. And the king saw this and he did not dare to ask her why, because he had given a promise. And he's afraid she'll leave. And she kept doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many times? 7. 7 times. That's a lot. I mean, at some point, it gets out of hand, right? So when she was walking with the 8th child towards the river, Shantanu could not contain himself. And he said, please don't, why are you doing this? You're so cruel. How can you kill your own children? He started shouting at her disrespectfully. And also he's asking, he said, I won't let you do this. So he broke his promise on 2 counts. He stopped, interfered, and he talked to her rudely. She said, look, you've broken your promise. I won't kill this child. I am the goddess Ganga. He didn't know that. And the children born to us, these are 8 vasus, the heavenly beings. They're cursed to suffer human births. But when I drown them, they get released from the curse. That one lifetime is finished. But now my time has come. He has spoken these words, and I need to leave. And she disappeared with the child. So now Shantanu was very depressed because the wife is gone and even the son is gone. He didn't know what to do. So years are passing, he's feeling very depressed. And then one day he was just chasing a river down the banks of the Ganga. And he noticed the river had become very shallow. Abnormally shallow, like almost not there. He's looking, what happened? And he saw a young boy, bright-faced young boy. He looked almost like a god. And that boy has stopped the flow of the river just by shooting arrows into it. He's amazed, how is this possible? Now, the boy knew that this Shantanu is his father. The king didn't know, he couldn't recognize him. So then, Shantanu told him that I'm your son. This boy told I'm your son. And then Ganga appeared, his mother. And Shantanu said, please, I beg you, please give me at least my son back if you don't. She said, yes, in fact, that's why I brought him. So that, due to the desire to have a lineage after you, son will be the king, and so on and so forth. So she said, his name is Gangeya. Gangeya means son of Gangaputra, Gangaputra Bhishma. He has been trained in all the top sciences. He has mastered Vedic knowledge. He was taught by the heavenly gurus. He knows the duty of a king, dharma, inside out. So from now on, he'll be known as Devavrata. Devavrata means one who is like godlike and is stricken of wrath. Very determined. Then Shantanu was so happy, he returned to the kingdom. And pretty much the same day, he was crowned the prince. Crown prince means he's going to be the next in line for the throne. So now, one day, Shantanu was again riding and he saw a young woman. And he inquired, he fell in love with her. This happens. Always causes problems. So he fell in love with this lady. He says, who are you? And the fragrance from you is so much like flowers, like from miles around. You're so amazing. And she said, I'm Satyavati, daughter of a fisherman. Generally, fishermen don't smell so nice. She smelled very nice. Because they deal with the fish all day. So he was enchanted by it. He said, can I marry you? She said, that's not up to me to decide. You've talked to my father. I belong to my father. It's his decision. So then he went to the father, fisherman. Can I marry your daughter? The father said, Maharaj, who can be more suitable than you, the king of the world? What better husband for anybody's daughter? But I have one condition. That the son born to her, he should be the only successor to the throne of Asira. So that means, you know what that means? That means the promise that he's given to his son Devavrata will be broken. Devavrata is already said the crown prince. So he's very depressed. He says, okay, sorry. I cannot do this. So he canceled the program. He went home, but he was depressed. He was very sad because he really wanted to marry her. He fallen in love completely. At the same time, he didn't want to marry her if that means that his own son will lose the throne. And his son's son will not have right to, and his grandson from that line. So then Devavrata, he found out the cause of his father's depression. He looked around, he asked around, as a charity, where did he go? And he went to talk to the father of that girl, Satyavati. Devavrata, he approached him and begged on behalf of his father. He said, please allow your daughter to marry my father. I promise you, I will not, I'll put in writing, I will not take the throne. I promise you that this throne, I will not claim it. The child of your daughter only will be the. And the fisherman, you think he'll be happy, right? He was not happy. He was more demanding. He said, that's okay, but what about your sons? They will claim the throne because you're the older one. And then they'll push my grandson out. At that point, Devavrata took a very, what is called a terrible vow. He took a vow of celibacy, which means he'll never get married, he'll never have any children, he'll never touch anything. He'll never go into a relationship, nothing. He'll remain brahmachari. Now you can imagine for a kshatriya of that caliber to remain brahmachari is a terrible vow. Generally, Brahmins can remain brahmacharis, they're trained like that. Kshatriyas, I mean, look at his own father. Ganga was there, Ganga gone, he had to go for another woman. It's not possible for Kshatriyas to live without getting married and have queens and have children. But he took that vow. And such a terrible vow it was that he was given the name Bhishma. Name was changed from Devavrata to Bhishma. Bhishma means terrible. Terrible vow. And the demigod showered flowers. He says, Devavrata is worthy of this title, Bhishma. So, because of this, the king Shantanu, he also had a lot of mystic powers, by the way. He had, from all his tapasyas he had done throughout his life, he had accumulated some pious credit where he can give a boon. So out of this so much pleasure he got from his son's vow, he said, I will give you the boon of Ichha Mrityu, which means you can only die when you want to die. Nobody can kill you. You choose the time of your death. So then Shantanu got married to Satyavati, and Satyavati had two children named Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Can you say that? It's okay, it's hard to say. Chitrangada, Vichitravirya. Chitrangada, he died in a fight somewhere, and Vichitravirya was the remaining successor to the throne. It was time for Vichitravirya to get married. Right? You're following. So it's getting complicated now. You understand? Vichitravirya is the son of who? Satyavati. And Bhishma is the son of who? Ganga. Both of them are sons of Shantanu. Clear? Two different mothers. But they're basically brothers. Brother from another mother.
Recording in progress.
So, but they're brothers. When it's time for marriage, let me turn down this volume because someone is echoing. Oh yeah, just turn down the volume. That's it. So the time Vichitravirya to get married, and there was a Swayamvar being held. Swayamvar means a festival offering his daughters. Someone can come and win the competition, and then they can win the daughters, but the daughter has to choose herself whether she'll accept. But sometimes what they do in this kind of events, the Kshatriya was very powerful. He just goes, defeats everybody, just takes the girls and just goes away. And everybody just keeps watching. And that happens. Okay. So then Bhishma went to this Swayamvar, and he defeated all these people. He said, these girls, they should marry my brother, Vichitravirya. The three girls, Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. Easy to remember. Amba, Ambika, Ambalika, three sisters. He basically abducted them by force, challenged all those kings, defeated them. And then, now on his way back, Shalva is a king. His name was Shalva. He was in love with Amba. And Amba was in love with him. So he, on the road, he tried to fight with Bhishma, but he also got defeated by Bhishma. Now, Bhishma didn't know these two loved each other. If he had known, he would have just given. But he didn't know that. So he was about to kill Shalva, but the princess said, please don't kill him. You know, he's a good guy. So, go. But after reaching Hastinapur, Ambika, Ambalika, they got married. They said, yes, no problem. We'll get married. Obviously, they'll be princesses. They'll become queens of this huge empire. Who would say no? It's nice. But Amba was still in love with Shalva. She begged Bhishma, please, I really love this man, Shalva. He likes me. Bhishma was like, you should have told me before. Anyway, here, you go back to Shalva. I have no problem. So she went back to Shalva. In fact, Bhishma tried to convince. First, he tried to convince Vichitravirya to marry Amba. But Vichitravirya said, no, she's in love with another man. It's not nice. So he didn't marry her either. She went to Shalva. Shalva said, no, you've already kidnapped, you went to the house. They say, as far as I'm concerned, you're gone from my life. I know I've defeated fair and square, but I cannot accept you anymore. Now she will know where to go. So then she went to Bhishma. Look, you kidnapped me, you are supposed to marry me. There's some stores like that. You touch it, you buy it. It's like that. So you are responsible for marrying me now. I said, no, what do you mean? Well, you kidnapped me. Somebody's supposed to marry me. Vichitravirya is saying no. Shalva is saying no. You cannot say no. And Bhishma is like, no. What do you mean? I've taken this vow. My name is now Bhishma. I can't change it back again. I've taken brahmacharya. She was very angry. Then she went to famous personality who is famous for killing Kshatriyas. Very empowered. Who is that? Parshuram. Parshuram is one of the empowered incarnations of Vishnu. And she said, if anybody can kill all the Kshatriyas, Vishnu is nothing. She said, Parshuram, please, this has happened to me. I need revenge. I don't care now. I don't want to get married anymore. I just want to kill Bhishma. So, first she said, convince Bhishma to marry me or kill him. Parshuram had a fight with Bhishma. And he fought with Bhishma several days. And believe it or not, Parshuram got defeated. Parshuram, who had wiped out 21 times the Kshatriyas from the face of this earth, he was defeated by Bhishma. That's how powerful he was. And he came back with his head down. Imagine. So, Amba, she took a vow that I will be the cause of Bhishma's death, no matter what. And she prayed to Lord Shiva, and she has given that boon that you'll be the cause in your next life. So I'll jump in the fire right now, start the process. She jumped in the fire, ready for her next life. The next life, she was born as Shikhandi. Shikhandi was a child of King Drupad, brother of Vishnu. Okay, so where are we now? That's Amba. Okay. Now we fast forward a little bit. Who are the children of Ambika and Ambalika? Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Okay. And their sons, Dhritarashtra had how many sons? 100. They're known as Kauravas. Pandu had 5 sons, they're known as Pandavas. And the Kauravas were the wicked ones. Pandu had died. Pandu's 2 wives, Kunti and Madri, they had the 5 children. Madri also jumped in the fire after her husband. So Kunti is left alone to take care of the 5 children. So 5 Pandavas in the care of Kunti, and the 100 Kauravas, the sons of Dhritarashtra. They are the wicked ones. They cheated the Pandavas out of their rightful claim to the throne. Then this enmity continued. It's a very complex story. We can fast forward to the battle. In the battle, Shikhandi sat with Arjuna on the chariot, on the same chariot. This is after a few days of battle. Shikhandi told Arjuna, this is the only way you can defeat Bhishma. This is Bhishma who could defeat Parshuram. You think you can defeat him? You cannot. If Parshuram cannot defeat him, you cannot defeat him. The only way can be defeated is by me. I'm being given the boon this life. And when he sees me on the chariot, he will not fire arrows in my direction. Because he knows I'm a woman on past life. He knows who I am. He only fires at men. So then that acted as a shield for Arjuna. Under that shield, then Arjuna could really pierce Bhishma. All those arrows belong to Arjuna. These sharp ones went all the way through. Brings us to this point. Bhismadev lying down. Clear? Any question on the story? Nice story. Now, coming to the Srimad Bhagavatam. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse that lists the 12 great top devotees of Supreme Lord. They are known as the 12 Mahajana. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam Mahajano yena tatat sapantha. It is very difficult to decide what to do, what not to do just by reading scriptures. But if you want to know dharmasya tattvam, if you want to know what is the essence of dharma and how to follow it, you just follow the footsteps and the examples and the role modelship of the Mahajans. These Mahajans have led ideal lives with Krishna in the focus. How to live your life with Krishna in the focus in spite of complexities in our lives. Why did I tell you this story? Was it a simple story? No, it was a complex story. Was it an emotionless story? No, it was full of emotions. It was full of calamities. It was full of death and loss and fear and intrigue and hate and love and kidnapping. We covered so many topics. Sometimes we may think, how can these stories apply to me? You know, the philosophies of these books are so simple. My life is so complicated. This is complicated. If a person who has such a difficult, complicated life, in spite of having so many abilities, can maintain and develop their Krishna consciousness to the highest purity, then why can we not? That is the lesson for today. We have no excuse to become pure devotees. We have no excuse. The process is there. The methodology is very simple. Bhismadev, there he is. Bhismadev maintained pure Krishna consciousness from very beginning to very end, while also working through all these issues and doing his duty and fighting on the opposite side of Lord Krishna. Can you imagine? And fighting, shooting arrows at his dearmost Arjuna, who's also pure devotee. And this one time he was shooting so many arrows because Duryodhana told him, it seems you have been soft on Arjuna. That next day, Bhishma shot so many arrows, Krishna jumped off the chariot and lifted up a wheel. You've seen that scene? To protect Arjuna. It's a sweet exchange. In fact, that scene is that one, where Krishna opened his chest like this. And Krishna is coming with him. So, who was the 12 Mahajans? Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Shukadeva Goswami, Prahlad Maharaj, Narad Muni, Janaka. You know Janak is the father of Sita Devi. Then the 4 Kumaras, Kapila Muni, Swayambhu Manu, Bhishmadev, Bali Maharaj, and Yamaraj. Yamaraj is the king of Dharma. You know, Niyam means, you know what is Niyam? Niyam means things you must do. Niyam. Niyam. You must do this thing. And things that you cannot do are called Yam. Niyam and Yam. Yam and Niyam. So he is the Raja of Yam. He is the king of knowing what you should not be doing. So he knows exactly, you did this, you know, you're not supposed to do this. Come to my kingdom. I'll purify you. Get chapat. Okay. There is Yamaraj. Yamaraj knows, oh, these are pure devotees. They know what to do. Janak is such a great devotee. He's mentioned in which book, do you know? He's mentioned in this very famous book. More famous than that. Yes, Bhagavad Gita. Who mentions his name? Krishna. Remember that? He says, king such as Janak have followed this path. Remember that verse? He mentions Janak by name. That means he's great. I mean, we only know him from Ramayana to the side character, his father, Sita, that's it. But how great he is, we don't know. Okay, so that brings us to today's verse. Okay, we get started with verses now. Repeat after me. Pandu putra anupasina. Putra anupasina. Prashraya prema sangata. Abhyachashtanuragashray. Antibhutena chakshusha. So we're reading Canto 1, chapter 9, verse 11. The sons of Maharaj Pandu were sitting silently nearby. This is that scene where he's lying on the bed of arrows and they're crying. Overtaken with affection for their dying grandfather. Seeing this, Bhishmadev congratulated them with feeling. He congratulated them because they won. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes. Not tears of pain, tears of ecstasy. For he was overwhelmed by love and affection. He's not paying attention to those arrows. His tears are not from that, his tears are from love and affection to his dear boys who won fair and square, and they fought in the face of all odds. They won. In the Purport, Prabhupada says, when Maharaj Pandu died, his sons were all small children. Naturally, they were brought up under the affection of elderly members of the royal family, specifically by Bhismadev. Bhismadev was like their because Pandu had died. Think about it. That's how close he was. He loved them. Later on, when the Pandavas were grown up, they were cheated by this cunning Duryodhana and his company, Shakuni and so on. And Bhishmadev, although he knew that Pandavas were innocent and they unnecessarily put in trouble, would not take the side of Pandavas for political reason because he had made a promise that whoever sits on that throne, he will always side with them. Wouldn't do anything. If they say, be quiet, he has to be quiet. If they say, sit down, he has to sit down. Because the promise, his promises are very terrible things, you know. But he made it. At the last stage of his life, when Bhismadev saw his most exalted grandsons headed by Maharaj Yudhishthir sitting very gently at his side, the great warrior grandfather could not check his loving tears, which are automatically flowing from his eyes. He remembered the great tribulations suffered by his most pious grandson. Certainly, he was the most satisfied man because of Yudhishthir being enthroned in place of Duryodhana. Thus, he began to congratulate them. Congratulations. Then he's remembering some things. He says, Aho kashtam aho nyayam yadyubam dharmanandana jivitum nathatha klishtam Vipradharmachyutashraya. Bhismadev said, oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustices you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you are protected by the Brahmanas, God, and religion. And the Prabhupada explains. Maharaj Yudhishthir was disturbed due to the great massacre in the Battle of Kurukshetra. Yudhishthir was depressed. That's why he came to hear from Bhishma. Bhishmadev could understand this, and therefore he spoke first of the terrible sufferings of Maharaj Yudhishthir. He wanted to give the context. Don't forget the sufferings they did on you. Good people, they generally forget what bad things were done to them by bad people. They forgive very easily. And they feel sad when something happens to those people, even though it was fair and square. Bhishmadev is reminding him, look, don't forget this thing that they did to you. You should not regret the great massacre. He wanted to point out particularly that they were always protected by the Brahmanas, by the Lord, and the religious principles. As long as they were protected by these three important items, there was no cause for disappointment. Thus, Bhishmadev encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthir to dissipate his despondency. As long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, guided by the bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and strictly following religious principles, one has no cause for despondency. You have no cause to be sad if you're following the principles. If you're in cooperation with the Lord, you're in cooperation with the Vaishnavas and the Brahmanas. Bhishmadev, as one of the authorities, wanted to impress this point upon the Pandavas. We have no reason to be sad. Samstite tirathe pandav Pritha bala prajavadhu Yushmat prite bahun klesham Bhakta tokavati moho. Do you recognize any names here? Pandu. Anyone? Any other one? Not Partha. What do you see? Pritha. Who is Pritha? Kunti Devi. That's right. Pritha's son is known as Partha, son of Pritha. You now know, remember in Bhagavad Gita, oh son of Pritha. But the original says Partha. Partha means son of Pritha. So Pritha refers to daughter-in-law Kunti. As far as my daughter-in-law Kunti is concerned, upon the great general Pandu's death, she became the widow of many children. And therefore she suffered greatly. And when you were grown up, she suffered a great deal also because of your actions. She had to go through so much. Every time they went to trouble, in the firehouse and so many things, in the Rakshasas in the forest, and when the children they tried to poison being. Can you imagine how a mother feels? Anybody who's a mother can feel the pain. So she suffered greatly. So my dear daughter-in-law, feel her pain. And she's crying by me. You're reminding Yudhishthira. Think of your mother's pain, okay? What she went through. Appreciate that. Sarvakala kritam manye. Avatam cha yada priyam. Sapalo yadvashe loko. Vayoriva ganavali. Okay, any words you recognize here? You know the meanings of any of these words? There are no names here, just words. There are no names in this one. Kala means what? Time. What about Vayu? Vayu means air, wind. Huh? Okay, good. Let's see the translation. In my opinion, so this is Bhismadev explaining. He's trying to explain now why this kind of thing happened. You know the question people ask, why bad things happen to good people? Isn't it? Who could be more good than Kunti? Who could be more good than the Pandavas? And yet the worst things happen to them. He's giving an explanation. In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time, Kala, under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind. The clouds are so big, but they just move so fast. Possible. It's a time factor moves our lives. Purport is very intriguing. Listen here. There is control by time all over the space within the universe. Time is everywhere. As there is control by time all over the planets. You hear that sound? Listen carefully. Do you hear it? No, not the sneezing. Bless you. Listen carefully. It's coming from here. Yes. Yeah. This is time. Inevitable time factor. Tick tock. Even if you don't have a clock, time still goes. Time doesn't depend on what time it is. Time will affect us. If you want to measure time, you look in the mirror every few years. Count the wrinkles, count the. Like for men, it's very easy to measure time. You just see the white hair becoming white. If you're lucky, it becomes white. Otherwise, the hair is gone in the airport. It's like Eldoret airport. Either hair becomes white or hair is gone. But if Hare Krishna is very nice, you shave from before anything happens. Preemptively. So from distance, you can't tell the young man, old man. Because, usually men you can tell, either completely ganja, bald man is coming, or a white hair guy, you can tell. But if from beginning you're shaving your head, you can't tell. He lost hair? No, his hair is lost or not. It's control of time, all of the universe. All the big gigantic planets, including the sun, are being controlled by the force of air as the clouds are carried by the force of air. Similarly, the inevitable Kala, or time, controls even the action of the air and other elements. Everything, therefore, is controlled by the supreme Kala, a forceful representative of the Lord within the material world. Gita Krishna says, Kala Osmi, I am time. Of things that destroy, destroyers, I am time. Thus, Yudhishthira should not be sorry for the inconceivable action of time. Everyone has to bear the actions and reactions of time as long as one is within the conditions of the material world. Listen carefully. Yudhishthira should not think that he had committed sins in his previous birth and is suffering the consequence. Wow. That's something different, right? You think everything happens to me because my past life, and so it makes sense now. Here he's saying Yudhishthira should not think that he had committed some sins in his previous birth and is suffering the consequence. Even the most pious has to suffer the condition of material nature. It's just the nature of material nature. But a pious man is faithful to the Lord. For he is guided by the bona fide Brahmana and Vaishnava following the religious principles. These three guiding principles should be the aim of life. One should not be disturbed by the tricks of eternal time. Even the great controller of the universe, Brahmaji, is also under the control of that time. Therefore, one should not grudge being thus controlled by time, despite being a true follower of religious principles. Time factor will make us old. Time factor makes us sick. Time factor will change our financial fortune. It can go up also, it can go down also. Time factor can affect other things. Time factor can affect our relationships. It affects everything in our lives. Time factor affects everything. Every tick of this clock is changing our body at a cellular level also. People who develop diseases like diabetes or something, 10 years ago, they didn't have it. Now time factor has created that issue, or some heart problem or something. It's either genetic, or it becomes something exposed environment, or the way we eat, the way we live, we don't exercise, so many things. But the time factor catches up to everything. So then what are we supposed to do? If we are living piously, why should we suffer? See, we are in this place called Dukhalayam Ashashadam. This place itself, Krishna has said, it is Dukhalayam. As yesterday we were discussing, a place where there's only snow, it's called Himalaya. It means snow. You go to Himalayas, there's nothing but snow. And you go to Himalayas, you open a tent and you complain about snow. That's foolish. Why is there so much snow here? This is Himalaya. So then if you look around, you say, why so much dukkha over here? Why so much suffering? This is Dukhalaya. There's nothing but dukh here. If you try to go to Himalayas and find a space where there's no snow, you'll not find it. You live in the material world, find one place. Your Eldoret has some suffering, little bit. Other places have no, Eldoret has little bit. It's so nice over here. These top athletes come over here to exercise. Makes them even stronger. It's a nice place. But this dukkha, what is being taught over here by Bhismadev is very important. That's why I entitled this talk, The Inevitable, Unstoppable Time Factor. We don't need to be worried whether it is due to my karma, whether it's due to my offenses, whatever. Who cares? It is irrelevant. We need to be worried about how can I take this next 1 second to be a little bit more Krishna conscious than I was before? How am I making use of this opportunity of the human form of life? How can I make a jump to the next level? How can I escape from offenses? How can I escape from the tendency to commit offenses? If those are our priorities, then time factor will not touch us, because the soul is outside the boundaries of time anyway. Isn't it? The soul doesn't get old, so it doesn't have any issues with time factor. It lives outside the boundaries of time. The body is in the boundary of time. The problem is we think we are this body. Fine. We are convinced we are the body. Let us work to undo that misconception by following the principle of Krishna. Let's do it with the seriousness that it requires. It needs to be done with intensity, recognizing that time factor is catching up with us. Is there a calendar? There's a calendar here, see? Sometimes in the calendar you can mark with a circle, some red marker, some date. This is the day my grandfather died in 2007. So every year we celebrate it. There is one calendar out there that has a circle with our name in it. That calendar may not be printed yet, but it is there. Keep that in mind, it's heavy. There is one calendar with a red circle with the date. We don't know what the date is, we don't know what the year is, but it is there. We cannot stop death, as sure as death. Having known this, how serious are we to let petty things just be, petty things? How serious are we to really cry for Krishna? You see how Bhismadev, the great Mahajan, is crying for Krishna, and he's smiling when Krishna comes running to him. Krishna reciprocates with him because he's a lover of the Lord. In spite of the complexities of our lives, if we turn deeper and deeper to Krishna, then even if we are sitting and sleeping on a bed of arrows, we'll be smiling. Bhismadev, every drop of blood had come out. There's no drop of blood left anymore. in his body. Still, by some mystic potency, he was able to speak and things like that. Imagine a little drop of blood comes out, we're like freaking out. All the blood had come out. But he also suffered. What did he do that was bad? He didn't do anything bad, still suffered. He did see something. So we should not complain, God, why me? Why me? I'm going to go through all these things. When something good happens, we don't say, why me? You know, when you get a nice job, oh, why me? You should have given me a very bad job. No, we don't say, we are happy. We only ask the Lord, why me, when we find something unpleasant, you know. We complain about the smallest things. Cockroach runs across, oh, cockroach. Why me, my Lord? Put a cockroach in my room. What have I done? We complain about the smallest things. And the Lord will say, actually, you don't keep your house clean. That's what you've done. So, we need to reevaluate our priorities of what we complain to God about until the complaints become zero. And the gratefulness becomes infinite. We are grateful. If we are grateful to the Lord for everything that happens to us, including painful things that remind us this world is not my place. That gratitude will carry us to the level of love. Love, we can't jump to love, but we can do a stepping stone. The stepping stone is gratitude. That is the attitude. Gratitude is the attitude. Repeat after me. Gratitude is the attitude.
Gratitude is the attitude.
One more time. Gratitude is the attitude. Yes?
Gratitude is the attitude.
That's right. What does that spell? If you have to put acronym, what does it spell? Say it loud.
Gita.
Try again. Try. You're missing one letter. Say it loud. Yes. Gita. 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 It's hard. I know everybody makes some mistakes. You know, someone will say GRA. No. GRI. It's GITA. Gratitude is the attitude. That's the secret. We are grateful to Krishna for so many things. If we are not grateful to Krishna, we should practice being grateful. When you pick up the beats, chant Hare Krishna, we should be grateful. My Lord, I'm so happy and grateful I get this chance to connect with you in this pure way. We start chanting rounds tomorrow like that, it will be a big difference. Then it's not going to be a burden anymore. It's not something I have to do my round. No. I get to do my rounds. I get the privilege. I'm so happy. There's so many people in the world who don't even know what this is about. So many people who want to chant, but they can't do it. But here I am, I can do it. And I should be crying with gratitude. So the time factor can only be defeated by following the footsteps of the Mahajans, following the principles of religiosity, following the Vaishnava and the Brahmanas, adopting that culture deeply into our lives, and with every moment look for opportunities to improve. Look for opportunity to escape from offensive attitudes. Look around and see, have I been offensive to anybody? Can I improve next time? Don't be offensive. Right is the attitude. Okay. So the next verse is number 15, but we'll continue that. Huh? Yes, but I want to have some interaction, discussions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so questions and answers. I can ask a question, you can give me the answers. Or we can, it doesn't matter who asked the question, somebody has to give it. Or you can just reflect, you can give realization, something you appreciate, something you like, something different, something you can take away. Think of something that you can take away and you tell one of those things. You know, this one point I learned new, or something I got inspired by, I can take away to make my life more Krishna conscious. Think, because every time we come to any class, Krishna conscious, we should walk away with something we didn't have before. You know? Otherwise, just window shopping. Window shopping, you don't come home with anything. Just come home with ideas. You know? But if you go shopping, actually, you know. Yes, Mataji, you're going to say something. You want to say something? I know it's like jumping in your heart.
What I can say is that we have very limited time, and we should utilize every minute of our time for Krishna.
Very good point. Very good point. We have very limited time, and we should utilize every moment for worshiping Krishna. Who else had very limited time? in the Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj. How many days did he have to live? 7 days, huh? Only 7 days. You know, all of us only have 7 days, but you know that? Yeah, either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, one of those days we're going to die. That's probably by the calendar. Well, but there's no 8th day. See, Parikshit Maharaj had an advantage, which we don't. His advantage was that curse cannot be broken. His advantage on day 1 is that tomorrow definitely I'm not going to die. We cannot say that. None of us can guarantee that tomorrow I will not die. The chances are very high we'll survive, 99%, but that 1% is there. Parikshit Maharaj could say, tomorrow I'm going to be alive, no problem. Take your time. Let's go Bhagavatam slowly. You see, we don't have that guarantee. Or 3 days from now. So should we take it seriously? Of course. The point is very valuable. Take the time factor seriously. It's moving very fast. I mean, how quickly your children are growing up, your children, you see how quickly. My son was like this 2 months ago, about this big. Now he's 22 years old and he's in medical school. It seemed like 2 months ago, but it was years ago. How quickly? Can you imagine? My son is in medical school. Oh, if he graduated from regular college, got a degree. I just told him to move up a little bit. Yes. He's also in medical school. Just talking about the same thing. It's so difficult to get there. Like, what do you mean difficult? My son just made it in. It took him a long time. You're right. It took a long time. But the long time was very quickly. Another thing about the time factor, yeah. When you are, when you're child, like him, and you tell him wait 5 minutes, it seems like such a long time. You remember that 5 minutes seems like such a long time. Now 5 minutes like this. Even 1 week seems like forever. 1 year means like a lifetime. But today, at our age, 1 year is nothing. You can't even tell the difference between 2022, 2021, which one? I don't know. Why? Why is that? You know why that is? Because when you're 5 years old, yeah, 1 year is 1/5 of your life. But when you're 50, 1 year is 1/50th of your life, is nothing. So we have that perspective is different, ratio is different. So as we get older, time moves even faster, very fast. That's why we should be very careful to use every moment, right? Because we cannot get back that 1 minute is lost. So the value we can take away from here is a sense of urgency to prioritize the right things. Because biggest problem we have in this world is things that are that we focus on are utterly inconsequential in the bigger picture. And things that are of utmost importance, we think they're negligible. That's why, it is said, Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. This is second canto, Bhagavatam. It says, whether you have no material desire, akama, or you have all kinds of material desire, or you just want liberation, moksha kama. If you're intelligent, you should worship the Lord tivrena. Tivrena means? Huh? Intensely. Tivra. Tivra means intensely, means put your energy into it. Tivrena bhakti yoga. He doesn't just say practice bhakti yoga. He says specifically with intensity. Why is intensity required? Sense of urgency, time is less. But why is intensity required? To get anything done, you need a minimum level of intensity. It's, yeah, I'm chanting, so it's okay. Chanting a little bit, sometimes a couple of rounds, sometimes you don't chant, sometimes chanting like lazily, half-heartedly. There is no tivra, right? We're approaching God half-heartedly, half-baked. You can argue, but I'm doing devotional service. Prabhupada said this is like cooking with smoke. You make a firewood, but only smoke is coming out. You put a pot, you hang the pot over it like hanging thing, and the fire is down here. Only smoke is coming out. Okay, fire is there, so put the khichdi. 2 days nothing happened. Khichdi is like that only soaked. But you can argue, fire is there, no? You can argue like that, but not enough intensity. Just because smoke is there doesn't mean the fire is good enough. So minimum temperature is required to get the water boiling. Similarly, minimum intensity of devotional service is required to move the needle in the right direction. We know where we are. If I'm just chanting a little bit, I should chant a little bit more. If I'm chanting a lot, I should increase the depth. If I'm increasing the depth very deep, then I should increase the emotions associated. You know? Am I crying while calling out to Krishna? Not. But we can. It's possible. There are techniques, and they're all organic techniques, the nice ones. These techniques are taught to us by Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Narottam Das Thakur, and they're written in the form of songs. You can employ those emotions. One emotion we talked about is gratitude. Another emotion we can do is what? Remorse. Yes. Regret. Regret is powerful. Remorse and regret. It's not something I'm making up. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur teaching. Hari Hari Vipale Janama Gamayu. Manusha Janama Paya. Radha Krishna Na Bhojiya. Janiya Shuniya Bishakhayu. Oh my dear Hari, I have fruitlessly wasted this human form of life. And I've knowingly drunk poison. So I didn't chant him. Radha Krishna Na Bhojiya. I didn't worship Radha Krishna. Radha Monkey Bihar. We didn't worship. Knowingly I drank poison. You see, he's regretting. He's expressing remorse and he's crying. We can do that. You don't need to show anybody. This is for me to show Krishna that I'm regretting and I'm my Lord. Now I'm interested in you. I'm interested in you. Now you help me. Tomorrow you chant like that and you'll see the difference. Seriously. This is why we discuss these points. The urgency of it. Take us to the next level. We have a long way to go if you're not chanting with love. So you'll just be, repeatedly stuck in the same place. Okay. Please, anybody else share your comments or anything other takeaway? She shared one takeaway for the sense of urgency. Any other takeaways? Yes, Prabhu. Dennis? Yes. Yes, please ask.
This has been a very class. Thank you for that. And the sense of urgency that sometimes comes with anxiety, which can be actually sometimes how do we do that?
Yes, a good question. A sense of urgency that comes with a great deal of anxiety is known as panic. You're talking about panic, isn't it? Should we panic? Like, we should be careful about taking this sense of urgency too far, that it works against us. Something like that. Yeah, that's a question. It's a good question. Sometimes we worry, are we balanced in our life? It's balanced. Maybe too much imbalance. We don't make sure we apply equally on the material side, spiritual side. The problem is, very rarely are we balanced, or is a balance on the spiritual side. Very rarely. Very rare. In fact, it's never even possible. It's not even possible. If you're doing it right. Because the more intensely you practice your spirituality, the more focus you'll have in how to apply the principles to your material life also. So you keep everything balanced naturally. Material life will not suffer. When you take up spiritual life with more intensity, it will not suffer. This is the definition of faith given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In Bhagavad Gita, there is, in chapter 2, there's an important verse. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. We spoke on that verse today in the college. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hinantasya buddheva visitam vyasayanam. In that verse, Krishna says, the single-pointed focus, the high priority of Krishna consciousness is important. Otherwise, you won't make progress. So then someone may doubt, but won't this throw my life in balance? It'll be too much anxiety on this part. It'll work against my whole life. It'll damage the other parts of my life and it'll ruin it. It'll make me panic. Isn't that the question? In the purport to that verse, Prabhupada gives a very nice explanation. He quotes this definition of Shraddha by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You together, you following with me? Just follow along. Okay, it's a little bit abstract. There's a panic we're worried about because we drink too much. But Mahaprabhu tells us this faith you apply. Because you might think I'm applying too much faith, or too much on the side of faith. Mahaprabhu said, Shraddha Shabde Vishwasa ko hai, Shuddh Dhrida Nishchoy. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sharva Karma Krita. The definition of Shraddha is one who has full trust, Shuddh Dhrida Nishchoy, determined trust. Krishna Bhakti Kaile Sarva Karma Krita hoy. If I take Krishna Bhakti with intensity, everything else will take care of itself. That's the definition of faith. Then what happens? The more intensity you apply in Krishna's life, in Krishna consciousness life, the other things get balanced even naturally. You don't need to make effort to balance them. Krishna will provide. He says, right, to one who's Ananya. Ananya Chintayantama. Yes. Right. Right. Ananya Chintayantama. Ye jana paripashate. Yogakshema Vaham. I carry to him what he is missing and I preserve what he has. But this Ananya Bhakti has to be there, means no other focus. You know, the gopis are the most focused devotees, yet they took care of the house very much. Nobody suspected him. Arjuna was the most intense devotee, yet he was also very successful as a fighter. You will find even in this world, in the modern day, devotees are practicing very nicely, and they're also succeeding in the Krishna takes care. He gives inspiration, what to mention. He will reciprocate with your intensity. He will give you intelligence you didn't even know you had. He'll give you inspiration, ideas you didn't know where they're coming from. You try it, you'll see. Yes, it's a concern, but Krishna alleviates that concern. He knows it's a concern. That's why he's saying, don't worry. He's saying, don't worry. I know it's a concern, but you come full force. Anybody here is Gujarati? No Gujaratis over here. One Gujarati. There is a saying, there's actually a song by Narasimha Mehta. You might have heard this. You're familiar with Narasimha Mehta bhajan? Narayan Naam Leta, Vare Dene Tajiye. Right? You heard that. It means one who takes the Lord name, Narayan's name, he does not lose anything. It says, Kul ne tajiye, kutum ne tajiye, tajiye mane bapare, bhagini sudhara ne tajiye, jem taje kanchopi samre. That you can give up your family, you can give up your kutumba, your lineage. And then he gives examples. Prathame pita, pralade tajiya, navatajiyu hari namare, bharata shatrughne taji janeta, navatajiya Shri Ramre. So let me give you examples. Prahlad Maharaj, he gave up his father, but he didn't give up Harinam. Bharata and Shatrughna, they gave up their mother. Which mother? Kaikai. But they did not give up Lord Ram. So the point is that if you take up Krishna's service, you'll never lose. Krishna will fill in all the gaps. And we see it even ordinary persons like me and others. Krishna takes care of us. You think we are taking care of? No. I am not taking care of, I have realized I do not have the ability to feed my family. Somehow Krishna is feeding. I'm telling you the truth. Just practically speaking. Somehow I have a job that pays for my family's food. I have a car. I know how to drive it. Somehow I know how to drive it also. Like that. Krishna arranges. I need a car to go here to there. Krishna arranges. I need a job to feed my family. Krishna. But you don't need to give up Krishna. Everything will take care of. And a wife, a child, and everyone's feeding nicely. And the way I see how Krishna works in everyone's life, even if I'm not in the picture, I know Krishna will take care of it. I usually think if I'm out, what will happen to me? You know why I'm convinced? Because it is not me who's feeding them this Krishna. So it is not me who's feeding myself, it is Krishna who's feeding. The more we study this philosophy, the more we learn how Krishna is really, really in our lives, the more we can really give up this idea that I am the doer, it is depending on me. And when we give that up, we actually become less stressed. The whole Bhagavad Gita is giving only one message. You know what is that message? Don't worry. The opening verse that Krishna speaks, he says, Ashochan anvashochaspam pragyavadam shapashase gata suna gata sunshcha nanu shochanti pandita. Isn't it? He starts with, you are worrying for something that's not worth worrying. Lamenting. Shoch. Shochati means to worry. He starts as the opening verse. And the concluding verse, everybody knows, Sarva Dharman Paritejya Mamekam, say it, Sharam Raja, Sarapavidyo, Moshe Shami, Ma Shucha. Same word, opening and closing. He says you're worried, and he says don't worry. The whole Gita is about don't worry. How not to worry. And your question is very relevant because these are things that are worth worrying about. I hope I'm not doing too much. It's true. We have to learn how to apply it so we can be more intense in Krishna consciousness while still being more balanced. Krishna will give inspiration. You just show him one thing that you're interested in. Krishna will take care of it. How do we prove we're interested in Krishna? Give me some simple ways you can prove that you're interested in Krishna. Anything. Tomorrow I'm going to prove to Krishna I'm interested in him. How do you prove it? Chanting. Okay, let's talk about chanting. While you're chanting, how do you prove? As you're chanting. Huh? Attentive, yes. Any other way while chanting? You know, huh? Yes, sit properly. You heard Prabhupada Japa tape? He says what? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sit properly. You heard it. Why do you think he interrupts his Japa? It's important. When you sit properly like this, you're showing I'm interested. You sit like this, little less interest. Isn't it? If someone comes to your house, good friend after a long time, and he enters, and you look at him, you do like this, how will he feel? Just think about it. You don't even say anything. Your body language will say everything. I don't want you. Why do you come? We don't need to say anything to be offensive. So we chant like this, they're being offensive. Why do you think Prabhupada says it properly? Even this much we can't do. Prove to Krishna I am interested. That's all is our job. But we have got bad habits that make offenses our habit. So we pray to Krishna, please forgive my offenses and please give me the ability, the clarity, the guidance, not to commit offenses. I'm interested in you, my Lord. Let me prove it to you. Sit properly, I'll wake up early, I'll take a shower, I'll chant clearly. Let's try that. Sit properly. Let's try one mantra together. One mantra only. Sit properly, sit up straight. And don't lean on it, just sit up straight. Okay. And now, before we chant that mantra, we pray to the Lord, my Lord, please, this is going to be the best mantra I've chanted in my life. This is 100% going to be the best one. I know this name is you. I know it. I've heard it many times and now I'm convinced you are here when I chant. So please forgive my past offenses. I'm sitting properly now. I'm giving you my full attention. I'm going to chant, hear your name into my ears, straight into my heart, because I know you are very kind. Now we chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama. This is the best mantra we've ever done. Now, when we chant in our japa, sometimes we do, of course, we do beats, right? It's all a blur, it's like one big thing. But we'll do this again 3 times, 3 mantras. Each mantra is a unique offering, not one blur. So each is like an oblation into fire, separate one in pieces. Okay. So if you focus on each mantra separately, you'll improve your quality. Learn to divide it a little bit. We'll do the same thing, but 3 mantras. Okay. Divide it. Now we prove to the Lord, my Lord, we're interested. I am interested in you. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Take 1 second of peace. Let the beautiful vibration of the holy name permeate your heart. Give it 10 seconds. Take a breath. Let us express gratitude in our hearts. We got a chance to chant. Let us pray to the Lord that every japa session will be better and better. He gives us the intelligence, the inspiration, the enthusiasm. We put a full quality, a full affection, full attention. Chant Hare Krishna. Then next year, you'll see the difference. In 1 year, you'll be a different person completely. In fact, in 1 week, you'll be a different person. Isn't it? How good you feel when you're fresh in chanting. So that's one good takeaway you can take away today. I'm feeling so much positive energy in this room today. I can't even tell you. All of you are such sincere devotees are giving inspiration to be better with yourself. So my obeisances to all of you. Thank you for this opportunity. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Grace Madan Gopala Prabhu ki
Jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Samveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I just give a realization when you were talking?
Yes,
what I,
please. Turn up the volume, she wants to share realization.
I'm sorry if I missed it. You might have said it before, but
Yeah.
what comes to
One
mind,
second. Okay, go ahead.
and what comes to mind is when Prabhupada was asked which is his favorite bhajan, he said, Hari Hari Bifale Janamagala, And that reminds me about we are knowingly drinking poison the way we live our lives. We ignoring the most essence of life, and we just follow the crowd and join the material run race. We're running with the crowd and
The rat race.
yeah,
The rat race. Yeah.
racing with the crowd, and we forget about the Lord and what Prabhupada has given us, the best gift from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so beautiful. And yet we are knowingly, as the verse says, drinking poison every day. So what a good
Thank you for sharing.
bhajan. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gunainu. Hari Hari.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing. Yes.
About
Very nice.
time. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, it's that's the thing, we're running the rat race, isn't it?
Mm.
The thing about the rat race here, even if you win the race, at the end you're still a rat. What's the point? Yeah? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, His Grace Madan Gopala Prabhu. Please chant one round. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
So
Hare.
not into giving the introduction of His Grace Madan Gopala Prabhu, as he is so dear to us, and he is the source of inspiration, and he's giving so many classes in the Zoom, and we really like your classes and everything, and now we practically associate with you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji has so many responsibility in North America, and by his profession, the IT professional, but he's supposed to be like how he's managing the devotional service and inspiring many. Also, like he's regional secretary,
Zonal supervisor.
general supervisor of ISKCON, and also he in some area of North America. Also, he is the communication head in ISKCON
In North America.
in North America. So how is important portfolio he has, and he's managing everything. Also, nice family, also nice devotional service, and also material life. But we are supposed to worry about our career and everything. But we can learn from him, the practical. It's not like that, like Janak Maharaj, Bhisma, how is a king. Also, he is doing devotional service. Maybe it is right, we think, but it's a practical example. how Prabhuji is managing everything. And thank you very much, Prabhuji, for coming here and giving tomorrow also we have classes. Tomorrow is the first day of Kartik month. And already everybody knows. I request everyone, please come at 7 o'clock or hardly 7:15, so that after finish the Aarti, we'll offering the lamp there. Okay, so start the key lamp, Damodarashtakam there. Then we'll come here, so that's no interruption. Again, here, wind up, then going there to offering lamp. Already it is 9 o'clock, God take rest. So it is better, 7 o'clock. We'll, after Aarti, we'll do offering the lamp, Damodarashtakam, then coming to here and carefully, we'll up to 9 o'clock tomorrow. And after that program, there's a prasadam also. So it is okay for everyone?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Yes. So after Aarti, we'll be offering the lamp. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. And also we thanks very much to his guest, Govinda Prem Prabhuji. Also, he is a new recognition, everybody knows. He the regional secretary.
Zonal supervisor.
Oh, general supervisor.
Same title.
Same title. Of East Africa.
Haribo.
Haribol.
Before he was in a student's preacher, like a, it was East Africa. But now he's the general supervisor. So thank you very much, Prabhu. And you come again and again, so that inspire us. Thank you very much, all the students here and all the Matajis and Doctor also. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So now we'll go for the prasadam. And tomorrow also same thing. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धु पतेवच पतितानां पावके
Yes, please. Prasad.
Prasad ki jai.
Jai.
Everyone should take prasad.
Yeah, please come.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll meet tomorrow, I think, the same time at 6:45 our time.